You're listening to the 5 Stars podcast, sponsored by Stealth Competitions Limited, exclusively on the 5 Stars website. Subscribe today for content from your favourite Ibrox heroes. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Thanks for joining us in the 5 Star podcast. As ever, loaded with legends. Barry Ferguson and Ian Durrant. Well, we now know who's the man in the hot seat at Ibrox now. There's a bit of toing and throwing until we got somebody to take the job, but it's now Daniel Rourke, we know, is the man who's been given the task of taking Rangers forward. One or two casualties along the way. I think we have to accentuate the positive. Young man coming with a glittering CV, but it's a huge job he has in his hands, Ian.
Oh, massive. And just we're hoping again now this other one works, and good luck to him. He's going to have a tough start, obviously getting into the building, and then 48 hours he's going to have a Europa Cup tie. So good luck to him. But as you rightly said, his CV now with Bayern, Germany, Leipzig, obviously his manager had a wee stint at Sheffield Wednesday, and he's got a glowing CV, but now CVs are count for nothing if you don't win games.
At this stage, it's very early since he's been confirmed as new manager. Barry, he's the youngest ever manager in Scottish football, with the exception of Ian Cathro at Hearts, but he needs to become streetwise very quickly. Would that be fair, Barry?
Yep, and I listened to his interview yesterday with Rangers TV, and he was saying all the right things, but look, words are easy. He'll understand. Look, he needs to start winning games as quickly as possible. I'm just happy it's over now. We've got a new manager, because this last 2 weeks has been pretty frustrating, because everybody thought Steven Gerrard was going to coming back. Kevin Muscat, they didn't obviously happen for various reasons. Now Danny Rowe's in place, and we'll get behind him and hopefully starts winning games as quickly as possible.
He inherits a squad that I think for the first 45 minutes against Dundee United we got a wee bit of encouragement from. There were signs there that perhaps confidence could be the key to getting a winning run going, Ian. You know, that first half terrific, second half against United tended to revert to type a wee bit.
I think the worrying thing was how far we emptied in the second half. As you say, first half was excellent, and just couldn't get the second goal. Ashgard scored a unbelievable, great goal, and then in the second half we seemed to start off in second gear and never got out of second gear. And then when you don't start right, as Barry will tell you, you need to be there on the front foot, especially after how well we played. But we just seem to get back into the doldrums again, and then we let Dundee United into the game, and they scored 2 fantastic goals, and then we're chasing our tail again. And then Tab pops up again with now a great recovery goal again.
That's one of my concerns, Barry, that we don't seem to be sharing goals throughout the squad to the numbers that we actually need, and relying on Tav and Gassama. I think there's 5, all of which have come in Europe. So it's time one or two need to step up.
Yeah, look, you always look for your forwards to be scoring most of the goals, but it's important that you spread them out throughout the team, and that is a concern. Tav, again, for all the critics he has at times, which I think is unfair, again he pops up and shows his leadership qualities, but it is concerning when you dominate so much. And I know we should have come in at half time with maybe 2 or 3 up, but that second half, how we kind of collapsed a wee bit, and Jim Goodwin obviously changed tactically a wee bit as well, and we struggled a bit. And you heard Stephen Smith saying after the game that was the case. But listen, that's in the past now. New manager's in place, and I'm excited to see what he's going to bring tactically and what he's going to do in his first game against Brann.
Well done, Stevie Smith, actually, giving it his best shot there. You both have been in temporary charge of the club at times. How difficult is that? You know, it's not your job.
It must have been difficult for Smudger, because obviously there was a lot of talk with a new manager coming in, so he maybe thought he was only going to be taking 3 or 4 sessions, but he's obviously 2 weeks, and during that it was international break as well, so he's not got all the players. You've got to remember that. So yeah, got to give him huge credit for stepping up. Look, he's been about the under-19s and the B squad for a while now. He knows the game, former player as well, so delighted to see him get the opportunity. Now he'll just slip back into the 19s, but you've got to give him huge respect for taking,
I think he did,
for stepping up and taking the job. And he'll be disappointed. You could see his disappointment after the game when he was doing his presser, because he would have obviously loved to have get the 3 points.
Ian, 7 of the starters under Stevie Smith were summer signings. Does that tell you that in training going into the Dundee United game he saw something in these players?
I think it was sort of the group was obviously together with the World Cup qualifiers. Obviously, he'd have had the full group. And as you said, fair dues to see, but now he obviously seen them in the group he had up until the players come back, and he must have seen something in them. And I thought, now as you said, now first half they started great, and you're sitting at the game going, hope Stevie gets the result here. But the way he conducted himself, he came across really well, and you can see now he put everything into it. And I'd be very surprised when new manager doesn't bounce off him, and you might see him now involved in the next couple of games as a new manager bedding it, of course, and. Because Steve will know the players, and the manager will want to do his due diligence and his homework and get to know the players. As I say, I think you'll see Stevie Smith involved for the next couple of weeks, just until the manager settles down.
He's only got 2 days from taking office to the first match in Norway against Brann. There's a travel involvement as well. How does he set a stall out for a big European game? I guess he's probably done a bit of homework behind the scenes, watching the team on TV and whatever.
Of course,
else.
because he was
such a demand.
You're right. He was mentioned for a job maybe 3 weeks ago. So he'd have done his homework, and obviously you know the players now. I think all the managers nowadays see what jobs are about. They maybe do their homework on jobs now they think they can maybe get. So I'm sure he'll have a full data what he's got in front of him and what he can do and what he possesses. And it's up to the manager, as we said now. We're all going to be behind him, but it's up to the manager to get the best out of these players now.
It's not just Thursday, Barry. He's going to come back on Sunday.
But it's different watching players on a screen. See when you're actually on the grass for them. That's when you see.
Is that the bits you don't see from camera?
Yeah,
movement.
Well, I had it last year. I had one training session before the Kilmarnock game, which is difficult. Obviously, I had been at all the games previous to that, but it is different for watching them. Obviously, up in the stands, or watching them, which Danny Rowe probably watched them on his laptop. He will know quite a number of them. But listen, he's only got 2 days. But I think Durrant is right. I think he will, or he has to, hang off Stephen Smith a wee bit, because he's obviously been with him and he obviously knows. And it'll be interesting to see what way tactically he's going to go, what way he's going to formation, what way he's going to set up. So, look, I'm all for it. It's been needed, obviously, the last couple of weeks, and I'm sure everybody will try and get behind him. But it's a brilliant block of games that's coming up. They're coming thick and fast,
including the semi-final.
I was just about to say that, but we've got 2 important games before that, and we need to make sure we get a good performance on Thursday night and bring something back. Make sure we get a good home win against Kilmarnock on Sunday, and then you know what's happening the following weekend.
So that could be the catalyst to start a run, hopefully. Come back from Norway, no injuries, with a respectable result, albeit a draw would be considered away from home respectable right now. Perhaps a comfortable win against Kilmarnock, and then tee you up. And that would also get the fans on side, Ian.
Of course it would be, and as I said now, we're looking forward to it. Obviously we know it's going to be a tough game, but just to get a point, or get hopefully 3 points in the board in Europa Cup. And then, as you say, the Kilmarnock, don't forget you've got Hibs in between that as well, Easter Road. And so the only problem I think the manager might have, he'll not have a lot of time in terms of being out, as Barry says, rightly so, on the grass, and that's where he'll get to know the players, and that's now where you bed in your ideas. So it's game after game after game. Then, as we say now, we know it's on the horizon, that big game, and it could be now within the next 12 days. It could be the biggest hero in Glasgow, well, one side of Glasgow. But again, now it's a tough run of games, but we're running games I'm sure he'll be looking forward to. But again, on the flip side now, without being negative, we've not a whole lot of time on them in terms of being on the grass.
Let's talk about Asgard. A stunning goal at the weekend past against Dundee United. We know he's got that in his locker. How can the manager make him more authoritative on the pitch, Barry?
My opinion is to show more. Well, we've seen glimpses that he's definitely got quality, but with the money that you've shelled out from, it needs to be on a more consistent basis. There's no doubt there's a player in there, and I'm sure the manager will be trying to get every ounce out of him, because if he performs like the way he did in the first half, then he can become a big player for Rangers. But I think if you ask Dale himself, he'll admit that his form's not been up to scratch, and I'm sure the manager will have a sit down with him, because, as I said, he could be a difference maker in that final third.
Also at the top of the pitch, Ian, Majowski came with a terrific goal scoring record. You can see the frustration come out every pore of his body at the moment, not getting the service, coming short, when if he stays between the sticks, you know he'll score goals. I
think he's getting frustrated with the lack of ammunition he's getting, and you can see it now. and it's easy on the other side now to go and try and run about and try and get involved in things. But his main aim is, as you say, to be in the box. When we brought on Shametti, he had a great chance with a header again in the second half. But we need to start creating chances. And as you said, they allied to Ashgard first half. Everything went through him, and all the stuff. Maybe Goodman changed his tactics and tried to nullify him in the second half because he's very quiet. But another good thing, we make Moore come on the last 15 minutes and look sharp. And now I know he struggled since he came, but again he came in and he created this now obviously the goal for Tav. But we need to start creating it now. If you've got Majowski and hopefully Shametti comes good, we need to create a lot more chances from. I know they're feeding off scraps just now, and the scraps are all that half chances. They're not really fully cut chances. But I think I'd like to see. I think Majowski's still chasing his tail a bit in terms of fitness. So if he goes around the games if you're a forward and you're not scoring, then the next person has got to step in and see if he can score goals. So it's got to be sooner the better for him in terms of getting goals now.
It is frustrating, but see when you see him, you just mentioned there, Tom, coming short. See if I'm a player on the pitch, get up a bit, stay central. But on the flip side of that, Durrant just mentioned there, he's not getting enough ammunition, he's not getting enough service, and he thrives off that. Because listen, he's a goal scorer. We've seen it when he was at Aberdeen. He showed he's more than capable of getting 20 odd goals a season, and you can see there's frustrations in there. But he needs to obviously realise, and the players on the pitch need to tell him as well, make sure you're central, stay further up the pitch, don't come looking for the ball, try to link up, because I don't think he's a link up player. He is a proper number 9 that wants service
either
inside,
over the top or across the face,
or crosses in from the wide areas.
Finlay Curtis, you mentioned Mikey Moore, who had a terrific spell with the English under-19 side, 4 goals in 2 games, confidence high, he looks sensational against boys of his own age group. It's a different dynamic to do that on a Saturday in the Scottish Premiership. But I'd like to see Finlay Curtis get a wee chance. He's shown already this season he's got an eye for a goal too.
He's the one. I felt now, if you feel sorry for somebody, it's young Finlay now for what he's done. And again, now he's away with Scotland under 21s again, and apparently showed up well again. And that's what you want to see now. We've spoke about it now. I'm a big advocate getting to see your homegrown boys in. And Finlay, at any time he's played this year, has not let the club down once. And he's chipped in with 3 goals, I think, at important times. And you just like to see him. So hopefully, again, he's got to go and impress another new manager at such a young age. But as Barry said a couple of weeks ago now, the one thing about Finlay is his work ethic. And I'm sure the manager will take a shine to him.
He's got his attitude, it's what you want in a young player, because it's easy, because when you make that jump into the first team squad, automatically quite a few young players genuinely think that's me made it. He's not like that. He wants to continue. He wants to continue to work hard. When I had him last year, you could see he was still a work in progress, and then I just thought come the summer with a good pre-season he could really, really push to get into that starting 11, and he showed signs of that at the start of the season. I thought he was a one player that you thought was going to do something. So hopefully the new manager coming in, he'll see signs of that, and Finlay will try and break his way into the starting 11,
because it does light up a pathway for the rest of the academy as well.
It does. I said to many times, Barry's brother Derek was the one for us, and Derek broke into the team at 15. Then all of a sudden,
time for size testimonial.
Yeah, exactly. But Derek got involved. And so as a 6-year-old, myself, Robert Fleck, Hugh Burns, you all want a slice of it. But if somebody's showing your way, then you want a slice of it, and then you want a taste of it.
But we don't produce enough young players, Mark.
No.
Even the loan system doesn't really deliver what we're after.
No, but there is a lot of good players. It's just getting that opportunity. I just like I like the idea of getting them up in 16, training in the first team environment, and getting them used to that, because there's certainly a few young players I've seen in the short period I was in that are capable.
McCallion.
Listen, I took a shine to him straight away.
But it's
maybe because he's got
Bollywood.
ginger hair in it. So no, I liked him. Feisty wee guy, good on the ball, just real good qualities. And if he keeps progressing, he's one that I think you could see in a Rangers jersey pretty soon.
He's likely to be involved for the trip to Norway, with the way the squad is shaped up with homegrown talent, etc. It won't be easy over there. Brian, we've never met before. at all. Against Norwegian competition, Rangers have been undefeated in 4 matches only. They sit third in their own top flight at the moment. If you were putting a team out to face them on Thursday, Ian, what would your shape be?
Well, I was listening to Barry Brown. I said now in Talksport today, and he said his time under Dahl, he changed it. He would start off in one formation, then change it, depending on what the way the game was going. I think he'll be cautious to start with. I think you'll probably see the one up front, maybe the five in the midfield, and trying to back it up. But again, he'll have his own ideas. And the one thing you want to do when you're a new manager at a new club, you want to start off not now a winning or a respectable result. So I think he'll set them out to be hard to beat, but we want to win the game as we all do. And we know it's going to be tough now. Again, we're going to I think it's another field tough pitch.
Yeah.
I think, and we're up at the top end of Norway, so the temperature might be a bit cold. But these nights in Europe, you've got to adapt to them. You've got to show now you can go against the teams, and we need something on the board now. Don't get away with it. We need to start putting points on the board in the Europa Cup.
Barry, the travel, the camaraderie, the time spent together, dining together, relaxing together in the hotel, training together without the pressure of the Glasgow environment. Could Danny Rule turn that to his advantage?
Yeah, well, it's not a long travel. It's only only just over an hour in a plane. But it is good when you get the group together. It will be good for the managers because he'll be able to spend a good day or so with them. But like this game, you've got to make sure when you go away from home in Europe, all games are difficult. You've just got to set up, make sure you're defensively strong. You don't give anything away, and then you don't know what will come after that in terms of you could maybe hit them in the counter attack. So I agree with Durrant. I think he'll go and he'll make sure they're really compact and solid and try and hit them on the counter attack, because it is important your first game that you get something out of it. And let's be honest with you, they're not the best team, are they? In the previous two teams we've played in Europa League, when I looked at them and when the draw came out, I'm thinking, that's 6 points. We could easily get 6 points. Strumgrat's away. You're always European games away from home. You're always really happy with a point. Genk, no disrespect, you've got to be getting 3 points against them, but we've no. So that's the reason why I think the new manager will go and make sure he'll try and come back with at least a point, which is a good start.
Then Kilmarnock come the weekend. How big a part does confidence play in getting results?
It does, and the fans play a big part as well. And it's so important that there's a real connection between the stands and on the pitch. And with the new manager coming in, I'm sure the fans will come in their numbers. It'll be a full house. They'll get right behind them, and the players have got to take that energy off the fans at the start of the game, because we know what it's like after 10 or 15 minutes when things are maybe going right. They're a very demanding crowd, but that's just the way that Rangers has always been, and you need to deal with these situations. But it's all about the start. That's how you start the game. But the first important thing for me is this game on Thursday night, that we get something that'll hopefully get a wee bit of confidence into the group, and then you've got the first home game as manager, full house against a Kilmarnock team that I've had a half decent start to the season, but no disrespect, we should be looking at getting 3 points here.
Yeah, typical Kilmarnock, a bit hot and cold.
Yeah, they are, and they've got some players, that are, I think Kilmarnock are a decent outfit, and Stuart Kettlewell's obviously come in there, and he's got his own ideas previous to obviously Derek McInnes. It'll not be easy, no game's easy, and they'll come and they'll try and frustrate, but we have got to come up with some ideas to make sure that that's not the case. And the most important thing for me is, and I keep saying it, it's great if you go play free flowing attractive football. It's about getting the 3 points.
That's a bonus.
That's a bonus to me if you play well.
Yeah, get the result.
It's a given at Rangers, Tommy.
Yeah, first and foremost, it's
3
about
points.
Yeah.
And we need to start getting 3 points on the board. So everything will come now from Bran. You get a result, and then it breeds confidence. And then you take that into the next game. As Barry said, that they'll be wanting everybody to do well. The manager, the players. And then if you get a result against Kilmarnock, then you kick on again. And it's game just now. So they keep coming. They're coming every 3 days now. So the more you're winning, the more your confidence will be high.
there's a heck of a programme still to come. A lot of
But
people
what
say
a
the league's
brilliant
done, but it's not.
Tom, but I know it's a heck of a programme. If you ask any footballer, I'd rather play games of football. And I know it's not been a great start to the season, but if you look at the block of games that are coming up, it's exciting.
You've got another now. You look at now, obviously Brann, Kilmarnock, Hibs. Now you've got Roma. Now you've got Celtic. Great games.
Yeah.
And as Barry said, you want to play any games. So just make sure now, with the new manager, can we make sure you're on the team sheet?
Yeah, well, we wish Daniel Rowe, the new manager, every success in his position at Rangers. It's the 5 Star Podcast in conjunction with Stealth Competitions. Daniel Rowe, assistant manager to the German national side, made me think about Germans who have been successful at Rangers. Probably the pick of the bunch. Heads or tails, Stefan Klos or George Alberts?
Yeah, two ex-teammates.
Yeah.
I played with both of them. Winners. Bought right into what the club was all about. And just big characters as well. So, yep, and I really enjoyed my time. Played with obviously the big George in the middle of the pitch. Everybody knows a hammer and a left foot he had, but he was an accomplished football player as well. I thought he was top drawer. And Stefan Klos, what a goalkeeper!
I mean, how could anyone fill the gloves of the goalie? And yet he did.
Oh, he's up there with Stefan. Also, I didn't play with what Barry did, but I got to know him when I was in the coaching staff, and by the ultimate professional. Now trained, now always want to win, unbelievable, and really nice guy as well. Now off the park, and he formed a great relationship with the gaffer of Greggy. They two of them now they formed an unlikely combination. Now John Gregg and Stefan, but he got it and he came in and he was absolutely fantastic. Big George was just different class. Honestly, he was brilliant. And you see George now, you think he was from Glasgow the way his accent is, and he came in and his whole family they embraced the club, and it was a sad day. I remember I was at the game the day George left, and thinking now you think he should still be here. Unfortunately, now George made a decision, or maybe the club who's in charge at the time.
I think he was a bit frustrated under Dick Advocat.
He was, because I thought as well, listen, Dick Advocat was a brilliant manager in my opinion. Everybody's got... George didn't really see eye to eye at times. I thought he should have played in more occasions, but there was so much competition for places in the middle of the pitch. But seeing I played with George, I just felt comfortable beside him. You knew he was a top player and something would happen, and just a winner again. I keep going back to it, just brought into the standards of what Rangers was all about. And Stefan Klos, one of the nicest guys you could meet, but see when he crossed that white line,
Focused.
Jesus, man, aye, he was all in.
Goals.
He was in a different level at times. Some of his clobber was horrendous, man. One of the worst dressed guys I've ever seen.
Stefan
A bit
Klos.
similar to Durrant. Not the best, you know what I mean?
He's like Barry mugged an Albanian. His gear was horrendous. I think he thought it was a Christmas party every day, Stefan.
It would be good though if perhaps they put a call in to the new manager and just wished him well from that German perspective. If he has the winning mentality these guys had, he could do well.
Yeah.
Aye, but listen, I think it's always important when players come in, and I've played with so many top players, but it's how they buy into the club, and they want to find out about the club, and they understand the demands and the expectations. That's so important. And these two players that you mentioned were so like that. That's how they were successful at Rangers.
Yeah, great memories of guys of that era. Just as I roll back the years in, I couldn't help but notice, my arithmetic, if it's correct, it's 33 years ago today that you beat Leeds United 2-1 at Ibrox. You'd just be starting high school or something, Barry, at that time, would you?
No, I was in.
He was in the staff then.
No, I was just about to come in full time. I went in full time just in that summer. But I was there. That was, they were all my heroes growing up. That 9-0 team. I just loved to go and watch them, and they weren't the top players. They weren't just top players, Tom.
Collectively,
they were just their characters. You know what I mean? They were so strong mentally, and mixed in with some fabulous football players. It was just a great mix that team had.
What's your memories of that particular game? I mean, the goalie
Everything.
punching the first one in.
The goalie and obviously getting down the tunnel, talking the atmosphere, and now we've spoke about that the European nights, but that night was special. And even your Gordon Strachan, McAllister, and Gary Speed, Cantona, and
Who was the big goalkeeper for Leeds?
John
Lukic.
Lukic, aye, that's
And,
Also played at Arsenal.
and he was. They were all looking about, and then to go from that, and then about a minute later, Gary Mack puts on the tap corner.
Silence.
See that?
Absolute silence.
But with Barry said that we had a group then now never gave up, and the run we had that year, now unbeaten in Europe, now 40 odd games in all competitions, and then we get back into the game. Big John Lucas. Now I claimed it from a corner, then Coisty pops up, but we struggled a wee bit in the set. We never struggled. We just couldn't reach the levels. Now we put a lot in the first half and couldn't get that third goal. And then obviously after that, now they wrote us up. But that night, what an atmosphere! Now you played in the Battle of Britain games, and that was the first time, and I sort of sampled it, and it never let itself down. It was magnificent. Now, and there was no fans, remember, and because Ellen Road was getting redeveloped, so
apart from Andy Smiley
in
the box,
in a box getting attacked.
Yeah.
But when we're thought stuff now from an unknown source, I'll say we seemed to get a couple of tickets from somewhere, and they were told to abruptly sit in their hands if something happens. And but the lead up to that, because the result at Ibrox was magnificent, but we moved down south. Now they said we'd no chance. So that that was the first time I seen the gaffer. I never seen a team talk, and he sent us out to the pitch at Ellen Road. And we were wondering, because you always come up with something, and it just be bullet points, maybe a minute. Never said a thing. So we go out and then we come in, and Archie had plastered everything out of the walls.
all the negativity
All
in the media.
all the sun, then the Scots would be back over Hadrian's Wall. Then just before kick-off, Sir Alex walked in. So he gave us a wee bit of a pep talk as well. So it was brilliant. It was the only time I've ever seen the gaffer knows. He knew we had the focus and the drive to go and win that game.
Is it true, Sir Alex?
Disrespectful, disrespectful to that
And
team. If you look
bounce
at
back
that quality of that team, and she's a young boy going to watch them and having the ambition to try and be a Rangers player. It was some education.
Inspirational.
Aye, just watching them, watching how they went about their job.
Amazing. Is it true, Ian, that Sir Alex Ferguson funded the boys' night of celebration back in Manchester?
No, he organised through. Remember Lee? Is it Lee Sharp?
Yeah.
Lee Sharp.
Left winger came from Turkey.
Bite a boy.
Yeah.
I remember in the bar, and him and Ryan Giggs were in the bar, and he says Lee Sharp's organised a thing with. But he wasn't too happy, Sir Alex, because they had a big game come up at the weekend. But obviously, because now the gaff had been done, they went out for something after the game, and we went for a couple of sherbets and a wee bit of celebration. But it was through Lee Sharp and Ryan Giggs. They organised a nightclub for us.
A couple of sherbets.
I think
More
it
than
was-
a couple.
Oh, we blew the froth off a few. That was all I can say. Right?
I think it was Stuart McCall said to me he just caught the flight home the next
No,
morning.
we were told to be on the bus for 8:30 in the morning. We used to left the bar at 8:25 to get his bag. Then after that,
Great
we
memories.
played Celtic at Parkhead on the Saturday.
How did that go?
We beat them 1-0, and I got the winner. But we never trained.
See,
The gaff-
hungover.
Yeah.
Beat them hungover.
The gaffer said after Leeds, I'll see you on Saturday morning, and that was from Leeds. We arrived
your
back
report?
to Saturday morning at Parkhead.
It just wouldn't happen nowadays, Barry, would it? Sports scientists
Honestly,
I know,
would
I
be
know,
tracking
just
you every
didn't say
kilometre.
And we Stuart, now, he had all his family. Now we Stuart's Leeds born,
Yep.
so he had all his family there. So the gaffer let the leash go with Stuart a wee bit. But Stuart was man of the match against Celtic on Saturday. Unbelievable.
What an engine
he was.
he had,
Frightening.
Oh, he was a
Frightening.
proper midfielder, wasn't he? He was just
Honestly. But now, as I said, like Barry said, the group are absolutely frightening in terms of now their resolve and now okay, and it's the absolute. Now we didn't have. Barry spoke about earlier. We didn't have to train a lot because it was game after game, and that's what you wanted. But
Where we are right now.
where's the next game? Right, come on in, let's go.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Well, we hope down the road takes the same attitude to
Oh,
the
hopefully,
players.
yeah.
Just go and express yourself, but they do need to show personality, Barry.
Yeah.
It's a big thing if you want to be a successful Rangers player. You have to show the mentality and the personality. And I'm looking forward to hearing his press conference. As I said,
Yep.
I heard him speak on Rangers TV, and I liked what he said. So he's saying all the right things. I'm just looking forward to seeing how he's going to set up his Rangers team going forward, because there's been a lot of signings made and he wasn't part of that process. So it'll be interesting to see how he works with them.
Do you think an influence in the backroom staff of a former player has value?
I believe so. I said that the next Rangers manager had to have a connection. Obviously Danny Rose no, but the previous two who were linked with it, Stephen Gerrard and Kevin Muscat, did. So I do think he will try and have somebody on his coaching staff who's got a link to Rangers, because I do think it's important. Everybody's got their own opinion on this. People say no, it's a lot of garbage, but I totally disagree with them. I think
it's because Rangers as a football club,
it's unique.
It's quite unique.
It's
you
totally unique. There's no other club like it.
I'm with Barry. I think it's imperative. Just now, because the manager can bounce things off him, and it might have nothing to do with football, just about the club. Now the surroundings of the club, getting to know everything, the infrastructure, getting to know people.
You said, Barry, last season Nico Raskin had a real interest in you, the person, the player.
Aye, but another thing I'm saying, I think it's always important that we're both as our back as an ambassador. And when I had the manager's job for 3 months, it was important that these guys were walking about and I let them in. They would come in and see us for 5 or 10 minutes and have a coffee, and I would say to the players, look what these guys have done. These guys were legends here. They won so many trophies, and don't be scared to go up and talk to them. Go and ask them. Go and pick their brains. I think that's
just don't pick Colin Steen.
He'll be full of red wine.
Steen was there, don't worry.
Durrant had about 5 or 6 pints before he came out to say, but
is that before I played?
But I do think it's so important that you have people like that run about
it's
the club.
heritage.
But in terms of on the coaching staff, I heard somebody doing an interview yesterday. I can't remember what station it was on. That at Sheffield Wednesday he had Chris Powell.
All right, yeah. Who's just joined, I think, Luton?
And with Jack Wilshere.
Yeah.
So he did do it at Sheffield Wednesday. So it'll be interesting to see if he does it at Rangers. But I do think it's important.
It is a different dynamic for the new manager, Sheffield Wednesday, to Rangers. But the Bayern experience, the international experience, Ian, should stand him in good stead.
Of course it should be. But he'll be... Sheffield Wednesday, massive club.
Yeah,
now
big derbies too.
But you'll find out the enormity of the Glasgow Rangers. Not just a football club, as an institution, and you'll find, but he has to find out fast, and he'll be getting told. We were talking about earlier. I'm hope Big Jaws gets in touch with them, and because that'd be a nice touch. I think that was the German connection. But Big Jaws can now put him on the right pathway, and the right thing about the club, because there's no other club like it. No other club like it, and I wish him all the best, because if he gets it right, he's going to be brilliant.
Well said, Ian. George is over regularly for 5-star events, so it'd be good to maybe sit down and have
maybe get a wee show a few one night, already 5-star shows you're doing.
I just to film my boots. Somebody called off last weekend, a busy one. The fans, the most important factor, whoever is in office, it's important the fans get behind them, Barry.
I think they will straight away, but you have to win games of football as a manager, and I think it's important, and I've used this word so many times over the last number of months. It's important there's a connection. The fans are so important to this club, and if they see a team that are going out in that pitch and crossing that white line and giving everything for that jersey, they'll get behind you. There's no doubt in my mind about that. It's impossible to win every single game, but as long as they see effort, they'll back you.
We wish him every success from everyone at 5 Stars to Danny Rule in his new role as manager or head coach of Rangers Football Club. We're rapidly running out of time. The fourth official's telling me we're deep in injury time, and I would like to just touch off a wee bit on our usual alternative A to Z of Rangers Football Club. And from our last efforts here, we finished, I think, on I, and we talked about ink tattoos. So that takes us to Jai, and I thought, Jardel. I'm rolling back to 1996, and we became the Karen Jardel Rangers Supporters Club. Do you recall that one, Ian?
Yes. She was no bad, I'll tell you right now. She'd been a great addition to the Players' Lounge. Unfortunately, the big man came. Now he's injured, and obviously the move never went through. But he went, I think, Porto.
Yeah, bang goals in for Porto and Galatasaray.
Galatasaray now, and unfortunately we just couldn't get over the line. But I'm sure not only would have securing a fantastic football player, but I'm sure there've been plenty tickets going available for that players' lounge after the game.
A big Brazilian.
Oh, she was a star, man.
No, I'm
Tell you
thinking
right
about Mario. Yeah. He did score a few goals, but to have your wife named
He did,
supporters club.
because at that time he used to
Thanks.
train at the cricket ground,
Yeah.
remember? But you could see when he was coming up, it was blowing a gale and pissing her in, man. It's not for me here. That's
It
why
didn't happen.
That's
I
why
actually think he scored against us with Galatasaray,
Yeah,
didn't he? I
yeah.
think he did. I'll check it up.
I think he finished at Bolton. But
I think I played against him
Did
when
you?
he was at Galatasaray.
Yeah, right. One of these players, typical Brazilian, when it was going well, he shone like a beacon. If the weather, as you've identified, wasn't quite right, he just didn't fancy it.
I
Wasn't
think,
for him.
I think everything was nearly done, but I think obviously
Yeah.
failed the medical. I think he had a bit of something in his foot or something up his foot. I don't know if it was glass or something, but hadn't now he had surgery and it hadn't repaired
Couldn't get
well.
it out, yeah.
But I thought we were signing him, but we were wanting him to sign. Don't worry about that.
So the Karen Jabdell, Rangers Supporters
not
Club.
for football reasons.
Yeah, don't know whether it ever got off the ground, but it was
So
certainly
if my wife's
suggested.
watching this, it's only a joke, darling. All right.
And the last one for today, K. We can't get to K in the Alternative Rangers A to Z without thinking Kanchelskis.
Yeah.
And the first image is against Ayr United, Barry, isn't it?
Aye, when he stood
That'd
in the
be
ball, I'm thinking, what you doing? What you doing? Because we were
cruising.
Aye, we were cruising in that game, and you could see the Ayr United boys were raging. Aye, I thought he was going to take a sore one. But listen, again, I remember at Man United in that brilliant team where there was Keane and Paul Ince and Steve Bruce and Pallister, and then he went to Everton and we signed him. What a brilliant guy, I know he was. Andre. He was typical Russian when we went out night shoot.
Like the wee vodka.
Aye, straight on the rocks. Aye.
That's the way they did it.
That was it. We were all just sitting having a few beers, and he was a double vodka on the rocks. But good guy, wanted to mix. Again, another player who bought right into the club, and he'd done a really good job. But his best years were probably at Manchester United and Everton.
But to have the
Was
audacity.
it not Fiorentina as
It was
well?
at Fiorentina as well.
I think it did.
I think there was a few deals done with Fiorentina in those years, weren't there?
He's been on to management as well.
He is,
Andre.
yeah, back in the Eastern Bloc.
Mm-hmm.
That one that we touched on, Ian at Hampden against Ayr United, the audacity to even think about it. Stand on the ball, have a look to see what's going on round about him, then chipped it in for Billy Dodds to score.
I know, but it was a great bit of movement if you're opposition. But you know, they'll be all queuing up because I think was it 6 or 7 that day.
7-1, I think.
I think, and I know you like entertainers and now you're all for Mavericks, but there's a line you don't want to cross. But as I said, now sometimes you get these football players that are talented and they have these wee spur of the moment things. I remember I just left when Kanchelskis came, and we had a left back at Kilmarnock. Swear to God, he was in intensive care after the game. He couldn't get near him. And
Who was that?
Dylan Kerr.
Dylan Kerr.
And Andre, were playing at Ibrox, and Andre could shift. And he just kept putting the ball at the top at left back. And remember Roadrunner, Mimi?
He was gone.
And we were and he was some of the goals he scored as well. Now you see me think back. I remember one at Dunfermline one night. He's volleyed it, and it sort of swerved into the top corner.
I would have loved to have seen him in his pomp, but
Yeah.
sees Man United days. That's when he was like.
I think he'd have took teams on himself.
Real pace.
Aye.
That nobody could match.
As I said, Barry's right. But he came here and he was probably in the later echelons of his career. But
Smirnoff had taken over.
yeah,
But no, what a professional. Aye, like I'm saying a night out. He liked a bit of fun, like everybody does. But again, he was one of the players. I was younger, and you look up to like the way that he kind of done things after training. He would do bits of extra stuff in
Things
the
you
gym,
don't see. Yeah.
his diet and whatever. Aye, so obviously he'd learned that for the previous clubs he was at.
Good habits.
Yep.
so when you're playing well and doing well, you've got to have a release valve. Yeah, because now when you see Barry will tell you the amount of games you're playing, and the Goldfish Bowl of Glasgow, so you get relaxing, but don't be kidded now. You see when after you have a wee night out, now you're bang at it again in training.
Aye.
In terms of now getting your body and getting the recovery and getting right now. Big Goffy Kilties were that man at team at once. Drinks together and that saying, but
It's still hanging about you.
I know, but I don't think you're out. They think you're out every night.
No.
Yeah.
But there is a time and a
5
place.
at we're out, right?
You've got see if you've had a run of games and then you get that wee free week, maybe it's good to go and spend a bit of time and let your hair down with your teammates, because
And
you're
your
so
family
focused.
deserve a bit of time as well.
Aye,
isn't
but
it?
you're so focused on your football, you know what I mean? And that is right, you would have a night out, but the way that you looked after yourself, and the way that the amount of work and effort you put into training, I think it was all right. It's just a time and a place to do it.
Well, as ever, we ask your questions, whether it's a voice note or a text to 5 Stars here through WhatsApp, and your questions we put to the boys. And today we've drawn one at random. It's from Wee Tam, not this Wee Tam, another Wee Tam. And to both Ian and Barry, he asks, if you had the opportunity to pick any player from any era over the world, not just necessarily a Rangers player, who would you pick as a teammate and why?
No, because he's sitting here. I'd have loved to have played more games with Barry. Unfortunately,
He took words out of my mouth. That's what I was going.
right, I'll let him, right, go again. Right, he can do it then. Go on, you go.
No, fire in. Fire in.
But I lived the dream. I get an opportunity to play with David Cooper, and now it's easy to pick out Ronaldo, or the real Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo, Messi, or Beckenbauer. Now teams or that players of that ilk. But I lived the dream of playing with David Cooper. But as I said, I'd love to get more games with this wee guy.
What made him special, Ian?
Just the way he treated you. Now when I first met, when I first break into the team, and it's somebody you look up to now. And sometimes we meet your heroes. It's not what people think it is. But when I met my hero, I wasn't let down, and he was brilliant, unbelievable, comforted. Now, how are you? I'm all right. You good? How you living? Now these things. Now just I'm great. I'm good. Big game Saturday. Make sure about now just.
I used to always remember, just to be aside, before a game, he would look up to the main stand, whistle up to his brother John. Never missed it. Just before kick-off.
And he just before it, and then before now, when I broke into the team, it was his wee dad that was there with John.
Right.
And you could see. I remember sitting behind his dad one day at a game, and Coop was on his roll, and now his dad was just looking about, and now that's my boy. And everybody knew it was Mr. Cooper.
Yeah.
And you could just see now beaming, but. Just lived the dream playing with David Cooper.
He was. I used to love watching him. Even when he was at Motherwell.
It was brilliant at Motherwell.
When he went to Motherwell, just
It was the way he could
imagine
pull a handbrake on. The defender was still going.
Wait, I mean, you played with him. He didn't have any pace, did he?
Nothing. One peg, one foot, but which was a wand.
Absolutely solid goal.
And for his testimonial, we bought him a right foot, but he never used it.
And so early passing away. That was tragic.
I remember getting the call at Broadwood that day.
Oh, we were in training, in fact.
Yeah.
Frightening.
So that was Tam's question about who.
I was the same. I would have loved to have just played 3, 4, 5 seasons, because both of us could get forward. He was better running forward as me, and then obviously he changed his game to be more of a sitter. So I would have loved to have played
Did that
more
upset
games.
your brother that he was your hero more than your brother?
Nah, listen, I don't know. I just used to love going and watching. I love going and watching the two of them.
Yeah.
I looked up to both of them, but he was my favourite by a country mile. And then looking back in old videos and all that, as you always do, and it was my kind of dad's, my old man's era. And the number 6, you know who I'm going to say, left peg. I would have liked to have maybe played with. No, maybe I would have liked to have played with Jim Baxter.
Yeah. He, a bit like you say about David Cooper, only one foot, but what a foot it was.
What a player.
Yeah,
I'd love to have seen him in the flesh.
Yeah, he married a girl from Coatbridge, and I used to lived in Coatbridge at the time. And I'd be round the corner every night, he'd drive in an MG, and I'd say, "Can I get your autograph, Mr. Baxter?" He'd go, "No, you again, wee man." And then I had the real privilege to be able to write a biography on him, Slim Jim, simply the best, and he was my first hero, and a bit special.
No, he was a top player.
Well, the time and the place is up here today for the 5 Stars podcast. Terrific input again, guys. Thank you so much. And again, all we can do is reiterate all the very best to Danny Rule in his new position with the Rangers.
Definitely.
Thank you. You're listening to the 5 Stars podcast, sponsored by Stealth Competitions Limited, exclusively on the 5 Stars website. Subscribe today for content from your favourite Ibrox heroes. Do you fancy a signed shirt from Scott Arfield? Well, this week, Stealth Competitions can make that happen for you. Just go onto the Stealth Competitions website, make a comment along the way, and you could be the lucky winner of a signed Scott Arfield shirt.